Hello learners of class 6th. Let me start by asking you a question. All of us dream of being successful, right? But what's the recipe? We need to observe ourselves. We need to see what do we like, what are our passions and what are our preferences. And using those passions and preferences, we should just follow them and make a career out of it. The chapter that we are going to study today is of vital importance. Many of us study well, get good grades, but we don't know what to do with our lives. This chapter will help you find yourself and force you to think who you are. So, let's get started.
In this lesson, we look at what we are like and how each of us is different. We are all interesting people in different ways and we are all good at different things. As you read this, think about what you are like and what you enjoy doing. Dear students, as you know that each one of us has a special talent. We should recognize that talent and use it to make our career. Part 1 of this chapter, titled Many Voices, gives you a peek into the personal lives and preferences of children of your age. Let us see. First up is Radha. Radha says, "My favorite activity is climbing trees. Just outside our house, there is a mango tree, which I love to go up. Its branches spread out, so it is simple to climb up the tree, and I can sit comfortably in the fork of two branches." So, what is fork? Fork is basically when two branches separate from the tree trunk. The design that it makes is called a fork. I am sure all of you must have used a fork for eating Maggie. So the name comes from there. Continuing on, Radha says, "My mother tells me it is not sensible for girls to climb trees, but one afternoon she climbed up too, and both of us sat there talking and eating raw mangoes. When I am high up in the tree, I feel like I can rule the whole world." So what happens? Radha loved climbing on trees and she kept on climbing the tree as her usual hobby was. Her mother used to scold her because girls are not supposed to climb on trees. But one day, her mother also felt like climbing on the tree. And then both of them sat there, they ate mangoes, had a nice chat. Radha realized that when she sat on the tree, she felt as if the whole world is in her fist. So, what do you think Radha can become? What is Radha's talent? Maybe she can become a good mountain climber. If she pursues her career there, she can be really successful. Let us move on to the views of the next child. Nasir. Nasir says that when I grow up, I want to become a seed collector. Seed collector is a person who collects seeds. Nasir says we have cotton fields in our village every year, and my father spends a lot of money on buying new seeds to grow our cotton plants. My grandfather told me that many years ago he could collect seeds from his own plants, which could be sown to grow new plants during the next year. But today that doesn't work, so we have to spend money to buy new seeds every single year. I want to find out why that is so. I want to learn how to preserve seeds so that we can use them again and not spend money every year. Nasir is a very sensitive child. He feels that his family is suffering from financial loss because his family has to buy seeds again and again every year. He wants to preserve seeds and reuse seeds just like his grandfather did. He could definitely do something in the field of biology, in the field of bioagriculture, and create something new which can be useful for all the people in the world. Next up is Rohit. Rohit says, "If I had a huge amount of money, I would travel and travel. I want to see the mountains of New Zealand because they look beautiful in a magazine picture. Just like so." He then says, "I wish I could sail down to the Amazon River in South America on a raft." Now, raft is a small boat wherein a rafter can raft in the river. He then continues on to say, I want to live on the beaches of Lakshadweep and dive down to the sea coral, just like so. This is how corals look like. Corals are basically a hard substance made of limestone skeletons of marine polyps. He then says, I suppose I should go to the Kunak temple in Orissa or the old city in Beijing in China and the pyramids in Egypt too. I hope you know what the pyramids in Egypt are. They are one of the seven wonders. But what I actually enjoy is seeing nature more than old buildings. So, according to Rohit, he enjoys seeing the scenery of nature rather than looking at old buildings. This is how the Kunak temple looks like. It's also called the Sun Temple. It, it has been made to worship the sun god. As you can see, there are wheels at the bottom of this temple. The temple actually looks like a chariot which is being led by horses. It's a unique infrastructure. One should must visit. What career path do you think Rohit will take? I have a feeling that he'll be a traveler for a magazine or a newspaper, or for sure be a YouTube vlogger. Coming on to the story of Sarbjeet. Sarbjeet says, what makes me angry is when people don't believe me when I am telling the truth. So basically, he is a person who always speaks the truth. He then continues by saying, for example, if I tell my teacher that I could not do my homework because his friend, that is Ravi, borrowed my book. Ravi, are you listening? You should return his book on time. Poor Sarbjeet got scolded by his teacher because Ravi did not return his book. Sarbjeet then says, or I tell my parents that it wasn't me, but my little brother who started the fight. Or if I tell my teacher that I really did study for the test, even if I have got bad marks, they all look at me as if they think I am telling lies. The look on their faces really angers me. Sometimes I have to look down at my shoes and count to 10 so that I do not show that I am angry. So it's very difficult for a little child to make his parents and his elders believe that he is speaking the truth. So here, Sarbjeet shows the quality of patience. The next child that we have is called Dolma. Dolma is a very ambitious girl, and she says that when she grows up, she's going to be the Prime Minister of India. Now, people always laugh at her when she says that, but she feels sure that she's going to do it. Dolma says, everyone in my class asks me what to do when they have a problem. So basically, she is a problem solver in her class. And my teacher always trusts me when something needs to be done in school. So who is the one who is handling the responsibilities here? Dolma. So whoever takes initiative is definitely going to be a leader. It means that person has leadership qualities. And thus, in future, they are definitely going to take a role which is that of a leader. Dolma says, I want to make things better for everyone. I want us to have good hospitals and roads. I want to make sure that there are many good scientists in India who will invent cures for diseases and send a spaceship to Mars. Can you imagine? This little girl, she's so thoughtful. She cares about the society. And people, those who care about the society, eventually get to shoulder responsibilities because they are good leaders. I'm sure Tolma is going to be an excellent bureaucrat or a politician in the near future. All the best to you, Tolma. Peter. Peter says, my favorite day is the second Sunday of every month. On this day, our whole family goes to the cinema hall to see a film. My father gets the ticket in advance, and all of us, my grandmother, my parents, my two brothers, and I, take the bus there. In the interval, my father buys us peanuts, and I love to sit in the hall eating and watching the film. Afterwards, we always stop to eat ice cream. Everyone is in a good mood, and we all feel really lucky that we are such a happy family. So, as you can see, being skillful is not the only important thing. You need to have a happy home life. If you're happy with your family, then your work will also be efficient. And efficiency is the key to being successful. Moving on to the next part of our chapter, that is part 2. The second part of the chapter, Who I Am, is titled Multiple Intelligences. It will tell us about different multiple intelligences that exist within each one of us and how we can identify those. Each one of us is skilled or good at something. But do you know that different people are intelligent in different ways? Let's get into the chapter. First up is visual intelligence. You have visual intelligence if you like to think in pictures, create mental images to remember things. You enjoy looking at maps, charts, pictures, videos, and movies. If you're good at puzzle building, reading, writing, understanding maps, charts, and graphs, a sense of direction, sketching, painting, fixing, or making objects, and understanding pictures, then it means you are definitely gifted with visual intelligence. So, how can you use visual intelligence for your benefit? You can become a navigator, a sculptor, an artist, an inventor, an architect, a designer, a mechanic, an engineer. Navigator is someone who navigates the routes, who navigates the maps and find out the route to some place. Whereas a sculptor is someone who makes sculptures. An artist also creates and draws arts. You can become an inventor. An inventor is someone who makes new things. For example, Alexander Graham Bell was an inventor. He invented the telephone. Then Thomas Alva Edison was an inventor. He invented the light bulb along with many other small inventions. An architect is someone who plans the structure of a house, who makes a house, who decides what the house is going to be built of, how is it going to look. A designer is someone who designs a home. It can be an interior designer, it can be a fashion designer. Using your sense of style and fashion, one can become a designer. A mechanic is someone who makes machines and fixes them, whereas an engineer can be of many types. You can be a software engineer, you can be an electronic engineer, you can be a civil engineer. A civil engineer is primarily responsible for making civil projects like bridges and roads. A software engineer is related to making software programs that you use on your phone and on your laptops, whereas an electronic engineer makes electronical equipments. Now, moving on to verbal intelligence. What is verbal intelligence? You are gifted with verbal intelligence if you like to use words and language. You speak well and think in words rather than pictures. Whenever a topic or a word is said to you, you do not think of it in terms of picture, but you think it in terms of beautiful synonyms. If you're verbally intellectual, it means you are good at speaking, writing, storytelling, listening, explaining, teaching, using humor. Humor is making fun of something or cracking jokes because you're good with words. As you must have seen, stand up comedians, Kapil Sharma, ever heard of him? Yes, he is a very good humorist. He is good at humor. It means that he can observe the most common situations and even make fun of it, right? Kapil Sharma is highly gifted with verbal intelligence. There are other stand up comedians as well, like Kenny Sebastian, that you can search up on YouTube. Understanding the meaning of words, remembering information, convincing someone to your point of view. All of this means that you are gifted with verbal intelligence. And if you're gifted with verbal intelligence, you can become a poet, a journalist, a writer, a teacher, a lawyer, a politician, or a translator. A poet is the one who writes poems, who can imagine beautiful words and then weave those pearls into a beautiful chain. Journalist is someone who brings out the truth, who seeks the truth and brings it in front of the people. A writer is someone who can write beautiful fiction or real life stories, presenting them in a manner in which the speaker really enjoys reading. Then, of course, you know what a teacher is. A lawyer is someone who fights for justice. A politician is again a leader. And then a translator is someone who is multilingual. Multilingual means one who can speak many languages. And a translator is able to translate the languages between two parties so that they understand what each of them is trying to say. Now, if you're gifted with mathematical intelligence, it means you like to use reason, logic, and numbers. You love solving. You're always curious about the world around you. You ask lots of questions. You like to do experiments. It also means that you are good at problem solving, solving puzzles, experimenting, questioning, wondering about natural events, doing mathematical calculations, and working with geometrical shapes. We all know who that mathematical genius is in our class. That mathematical genius can in the future become a researcher, an accountant, a scientist, a computer programmer, mathematician, and an engineer. Next up, we have bodily intelligence. You have bodily intelligence if you like to control your body movements and handle objects skillfully. You have a good sense of balance and can catch or hit a ball well. And you like to dance, you like to move around while learning. You can recognize that you are gifted with bodily intelligence if you are good at dancing, physical coordination, sports, crafts, acting, miming, using your hands to create or build. You express emotion through your body. The career options available for you are that you can become a dancer, an athlete, a physical educator, a teacher, an actor, a firefighter, or a craftsperson, because all of these need control over your body and its movement. And you can only do so if you are gifted with bodily intelligence. Next up is musical intelligence. Well, we can say that you are gifted with musical intelligence if you like to play and enjoy music. You think about sounds and rhythms and patterns of music. You immediately respond to music either appreciating or criticizing what you hear. So, criticize means to basically analyze whether something is good or bad. So, if you are intrigued, if you're interested by music, then definitely you have got that skill. It also means that you will be good at singing, whistling, playing musical instruments, recognizing tunes, composing music, remembering melodies. Melodies again means musical tunes. Understanding the structure and rhythm of music. And what are the professions that you can pursue using this talent of yours? You can become a musician, a disc jockey, a singer, a composer, if you are lucky enough to have been blessed with musical intelligence. Just like the world's most popular K pop group right now. Their latest hit song, Dynamite, garnered over 100 million views single day. The song is so peppy and energetic that you will want to use the maximum of your bodily intelligence as well as musical intelligence. The last one, and perhaps the most important one, is interpersonal intelligence. You have interpersonal intelligence if you like to understand others. You try to see things from other people's point of view. You like to put yourself in their shoes and think how they feel, how their thoughts process. You are a good organizer. Getting people to come together and listen to your point of view also is not an easy task to do. and manage to get other people to cooperate and work as a team. If you are able to do that, it means that you have been blessed with interpersonal intelligence. You will be good at seeing things from others' view, listening, understanding other people's moods and feelings, solving problems, cooperating with groups, noticing people's mood, communicating, building trust. And using all of these qualities, you can become a counselor, a salesperson, a politician, a business person, a teacher. A counselor is someone who counsels people, giving them the right advice and making their lives happier. Salesperson, if you want to become a salesperson, you can use the skills that you've got to make people buy their product and earn well. A politician again is leader, and a leader is nothing without followers. So, if you're able to show people your point of view and understand their needs as well, then you are ready to become a politician. If you care for people's need and you want them to lead a better life, then it means you are on your way to become a leader. A business person and a teacher also needs these skills. As you must have noticed, some of the professions are getting repeated. It means that multiple intelligences are required in order to pursue that career. So, sit down, relax, and make a list of the things that you like to do and are good at. Find out the intelligences you have and use them to decide your profession. Do you know? There's a study that says whatever a child wishes to become at the age of 11, chances are that he will probably end up choosing that field of career at a later age in his life. So, choose wisely to the best of your abilities. Good luck. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.